morning, good afternoon, and good evening, listeners, from wherever you're tuning into this channel across the world. Welcome to Afri's Concept TV, and thank you for tuning into this channel. Kindly listen to the end. The news headline: Nnamdi Kanu drags Buhari to court. Once again, you're listening to today's news. The news details. The embattled leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has dragged President Muhammad Buhari to court over the alleged violation of his human rights. Niger News reports that the Çøürt filed at the High Court in Enugu as Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB as plaintiffs, while the Federal Court, President Buhari, Attorney General of the Federation, Governor of Ebonyi State, and Southeast Governors Forum are respondents. The IPOB leader is praying the court to declare the practical application of the Terrorism Prevention Act and the executive or administrative action of the respondents, which directly led to the proscription of IPOB and its listing as a terrorist group, is illegal, unlawful, unconstitutional, and amounts to infringement of his fundamental rights not to be subjected to any disabilities or restrictions on the basis of his ethnicity as enshrined and guaranteed under Section 42 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, and his fundamental rights as enshrined under Article 2, 3, 19, and 20 of the African Charter of Human and People's Rights, Enforcement and Ratification Act. In the case instituted on his behalf by Aloy Ejimako, Nnamdi Kanu wants the courts to determine, among others, that self-determination is not a crime, and thus cannot be used as a basis to arrest, detain, and prosecute him and members of IPOB. Kanu wants the court to grant an order of injunction restraining and prohibiting the respondents by taking any further steps in any criminal prosecution of the applicants and members of IPOB on the basis of the said proscription of IPOB and its listing as a terrorist group. An order mandating and compelling the respondents to forthwith release the applicants and all members of IPOB from detention and to desist from any further arrest, detention, prosecution, and extrajudicial killings of the members of IPOB. An order mandating and compelling the respondents, jointly or severally, to issue official letters of apology to the applicants and members of IPOB for the infringement of their said fundamental rights, and the publication of said letters of apology in 3 national dailies. An order mandating and compelling the respondents to jointly or severally pay the sum of 25 billion naira to the applicants and the sum of 500 billion naira to members of IPOB, being monetary damages claimed by the applicants and members of IPOB against the respondents jointly and severally for the physical, mental, emotional, psychological, property, and other damages suffered by the applicants and members of IPOB as a result of the infringement of their fundamental rights by the respondents. The reliefs are sought on the grounds that the applicant is entitled to his fundamental rights not to be subjected to any disabilities or restriction on the basis of his ethnicity as enshrined and guaranteed under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That unless the respondents are restrained by an order of the Honorable Court, the applicants will continue to suffer the infringement of fundamental rights. Nnamdi Kanu has actually dragged Buhari to court, because it was actually Buhari administration that arrested him, and he has been in custody since then. So he is filing a case against the federal government and President Buhari, and also the Attorney General of Federation. So the IPOB leader is actually asking the court through his legal represent, like the person that legally represented him was Aloy Ejimako. He actually took Buhari to the court and he asked the court that the court should declare the practical application of the Terrorism Prevention Act, which directly led to the prosecution of IPOB and his listing as a terrorist group, which is actually illegal and unlawful and even unconstitutional, because he has fundamental rights, and his fundamental rights is actually being infringed according to the section 42 of the Constitution of Nigeria, and also Article 2, 3, 19 and 20 of the African Charter on Human and People Rights. They're actually infringing on his rights. So he has actually prayed to the court that an order should be made restraining and prohibiting the respondents, which is federal government, DSS and Buhari, from taking any further step in prosecuting him and the IPOB members, because they've been listed as a terrorist group. So he's praying the court that the court should restrict anything that refers to criminal prosecution. So he also prayed the court that the court should compel the respondents to release Nnamdi Kanu from detention, and all members that have actually been arrested and detained, that they should also be released. And also they prayed the court that the respondents should also issue an apology letter, because Kanu was actually arrested illegally. So they should issue an apology letter to him and also the IPOB as a whole for infringement of fundamental rights, and this letter should actually be published in 3 national newspapers. So he also prayed the court that the respondent should also pay 25 billion naira to him, to Nnamdi Kanu, and also 50 billion naira to IPOB as the monetary damage that has actually made IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu to be physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and property that they actually suffer damages in all this way. So to actually make up for all these damages, the respondent should actually pay 25 million to him and 500 billion to IPOB, and also that the applicant is entitled to his fundamental rights. So he should actually be left to work freely and not be treated like a criminal, except only if the courts actually restrain him. So what's your view concerning this news? Kindly share your view in the comment section, and don't forget to like and share, and also click on the subscribe button to subscribe and the bell for more updates. Thank you for listening to The Hand.